Alright, after we answer exercise 1.2, uh, we are now to answer the last exercise for the balance sheet or the statement of financial position. Wherein this is the Mavic Enterprises post-closing trial balances of December 31, where its requirements are first, there will be a report form and second, an account form for statement of financial position. So, tingnan muna natin ano yung mga available na mga titles for here. So, petty cash fund for 5,000, cash in bank for 146,000, accounts receivable for 175,000, allowance for bad debts for 12,000, unused supplies for 135, prepaid insurance for 2,000, rent deposit for 150. So, office equipment for 70,000 and its accumulated depreciation of 4,500. Our laboratory equipment for 400,000. Accumulated depreciation for the laboratory equipment for 5,000. So this is 400 I mean, no? Then expense payable for 2,000. Yung accounts payable 65,000. Our loans payable will be 100,000. Then our different payable for withholding tax is 14,500 for SSS and PC premium. It's 4,900 for HMF premium payable. That's 2,000 for PhilHealth premiums. That will be 3,500 for Mavic Perez capital for 1,120,000. It's drawing of 250,000 for a total debit and credit balances of 1,000,000 and 333,400. So our requirements would be the report form and account form. So of course, we need first to write our headings. So our headings would be Mavic Capital. Of course, we'll be changing the post-closing trial balance into the statement of financial position, wherein this is as of December 31. And then, of course, uh, una natin gawin yung report form from top to bottom. Well, ang gagawin lang naman kaibahan ng from the account form would be from left to right lang naman. We'll just copy and paste after we solve if we will get the right balance for it later. So, susulat muna natin assets for our current assets. Hold natin siya at ayaw niya, ayun. And then, we'll copy the petty cash fund and cash and bank. So, yung dalawa muna because there is the accounts actually we can also copy the accounts receivable here already, but of course, uh, move natin. But let's do the usual practice pala natin na i-highlight muna natin uh, lahat ng ating assets, liabilities, and equity. So first, we identify that these are all hanggang sa depreciation or assets. So cash in bank, petty cash fund, cash in bank, accounts receivable, allowance for bad debts, the unused supplies, the prepaid insurance, the rental deposit, the office equipment, and the accumulated depreciation, the laboratory equipment, and its accumulated depreciation are all our assets. Thus, we have the allowance for bad debts na ima-minus natin later plus the accumulated depreciation for office equipment and laboratory equipment. Next, we'll have our different liabilities wherein i-highlight din natin sila ng blue. And then of course, for the blue. Naging ano siya, orange ba to? Yan. And then, yan, blue. And then capital for green para hindi lang po tayo nalilito mamaya. So we have petty cash fund until accounts receivable. So copy natin yung tatlo. Well, of course, mag-move na tayo agad since later, ayan. So move din tayo dito. Since later we'll be moving see accounts receivable. Dito natin siya. Lagyan natin yung P dito. Yan, we are doing multitasking na mabilisan. Yan, because we'll be moving accounts receivable here later because we have this what we call allowance for bad debts na ilalagay din natin dito. We'll just remove yung field at yung color red niya. Move natin. So you can see, parang hindi siya gumigit na mamaya. So, kailangan lang natin gawin dito ay just to merge the cell. And then, merge and center natin ulit. Like this one, unmerge and merge center. And then, unmerge and merge center. Then, allowance for bad debts will be 12,000 pesos. So, 12,000 pesos, of course. Align natin to ng right. And then, we'll be underlining. And then, we get the difference. 175,000 minus the 12,000 pesos. That would be 163,000 pesos. So, tapos na tayo hanggang dito. And then, unused supplies. So, of course, kung gusto no, you will be identifying pa the uh, current and non-current. So, lalagay pa rin natin sina unused supplies and prepaid expense and rental deposits for 150. Lagay pa natin sila dito. So, let's also remove the fill. And then, hanggang kay rental deposit. Bakit hanggang kay rental deposit lang? Because office equipment and laboratory equipment will be later uh, grouped into the non-current liabilities since they are property, plant, and equipment. So, unused supplies, prepaid expense, and rental deposit. So, ilagay din natin sila, i-paste lang din natin sila. And lastly, yan, i-underline natin. So, this will be our total current assets. So, its sum would be equal sum. Tapos, highlight lang or drag lang natin from petty cash fund up until the rental deposit. So, our total current assets would be 601,400 and next for our non-current assets. So, our non-current assets would be first the office equipment and then sige, drag na natin sila. I-copy na natin sila. And then, doon na lang tayo mamaya mag-move. Ayan. So, i-unfill lang natin, in black natin. Since office equipment would be, let's check, 70,000. And then, our laboratory equipment will be 400,000. And then, subtract lang natin yung depreciation ni laboratory equipment or office equipment first. Office equipment will be 4,500. And then, i-paste lang natin din yung para mamaya magma-minus na lang tayo. Tapos, lagyan na lang natin ng sign para mas mabilis tayo. So, of course, while we are practicing yung computation every now and then, mas bumibilis na po tayo. So, now, we'll just subtract 70,000 office equipment to its accumulated depreciation of 4,500. So, that means 65,000 pesos, 500. 65,500 and then of course the laboratory equipment for 400,000 minus 5,000 that will be 395,000. So underline natin siya ulit. So write natin total non-current assets. So its summary would be equals uh 65,000 and 395,000. So, ayaw niya, di ba? Kasi meron siyang space. So, gagawin natin equals 65 plus 395. Simple as that. So, that would be 460,500. Kahit i-manual naman natin siya, 5 plus 5 is 0. Carry 1 will be 6. Carry 1 is 4. And, lastly, we'll be having, ayan, i-underline natin ulit itong total current asset and total non-current assets. And then we'll be adding the total assets, yan, yan, amounting to equals 601,000 dito sa taas ng konti pala. Dahil mali yung nalagay natin. Equals 601,400 plus. Right. Wait, ayaw niya. We'll have it. Yan, isog natin dito kasi. And then, yung total current assets, nandito siya nagtatago. Kapag ganyan, equal sum, then lagay natin to 460 or unahin natin yung current asset, either way naman, and then comma, yung nandito sa non-current. Nakatago lang siya dito dahil katabi niya. Close, and then that will be 1,061,900. And of course, don't forget the double rule. Then afterwards, we are now to compute for our liabilities and equity. Since diretso naman po siya, because we are first to use the report form. So, lagay natin liabilities and equity. So, for liabilities and equity for our current liabilities, liabilities, alright, wrong spelling, correct lang natin. And then, we have first the expense and the accounts payable. Nga, if the problem is silent, laging nasa ano muna si accounts payable, nasa current siya. So, its total will be ito, so 2,000 and 65,000. Lagay natin, since bago tong account, so ilagyan natin ng peso sign. And then, mali yung pagpwesto. So, we need to check din as well pagpwesto nila para hindi tayo nalilito. And then, we'll just delete this one. Yan, nandito na siya. Tama na ba? Ayan. Account expense says payable and accounts payable. And of course, the withholding, yan. These are all current liabilities. Si loans payable lang ang itatabi natin later for the non-current liabilities. So, in the book kasi nakalagay si loans payable as non-current. So, we'll be following the book. So, withholding up until sa PhilHealth, that is 3,500. Copy lang po natin and then i-paste natin. So, this will be our total current liabilities amounting to, yan, of course, underline, then equals sum, and from the top, pababa, enter, 91,900. So, we need at least mga 200 or 20 hindi, we need at least mga a million or less, mga 900,000 to balance this. So, let's check now the equity or the owner's equity wherein the Mavic capital will be of, and highlight natin siya ulit. Okay. Mavic capital and Mavic drawing will be copied here. Lagyan na natin sila and then remove yung ating highlight. So, we copy the Mavic capital for amount of 1,120,000. Don't forget the peso sign since it's a new account na or new element under statement of financial position and Mavic drawing, and then underline natin sila, and of course our total equity will be yan. Lagay natin dito sa baba. The total equity would be, of course, equals 1,120,000 minus the 250,000, amounting to 870,000. Let's see. Total liabilities. Ito yung exciting part. Kapag magbabalansin na tayo, when we are adding our liabilities and equity. So, we need first to underline and then underline. Ayan. So, it would be equals 91 plus, ayan. So, 961. So, we can see that hindi po balanse. So, we need now to troubleshoot for that. So, tingnan natin ano yung mga accounts na nandito na. And after a while, na linalagay natin, chine-check natin, we have already our assets, current assets, then liabilities, yan, then current liabilities, and then yan. Masyado tayong na-excite. Kasi after ng current liabilities natin, ano ginawa natin? Agad na tayong nag-equity because we overlook the loans payable na nakalimutan natin. So, kapag ganon, there are other ways para hindi natin makalimutan. Pwede natin silang i-highlight ng ibang kulay if they will be grouped in a day or they loans payable will be included in a different group. So what do we need to do? I-move po muna natin sila. So since ganyan siya, we will be moving at least mga 3 rows. So insert na tayo niyan, shift down. Ayan, nag-move siya. Huwag kayong maglala, sabi nga kapag may mga ganyan na bar sign, hindi naman po tayo kailangan mag-panic because we just need yung lakihan ng space. So after that, so all we already have current liabilities. But sabi ko nga, this is own current liabilities because we overlook the loans payable. So we have to write pa the loans payable amounting to 100,000 because 100,000 would can make or break our balance. So tanggalin muna natin ito, no? Further. Then so we will be having the total liabilities. Since wala namang kasamang iba, ayan, wala namang kasamang iba ang ating tinatawag na loans payable. So automatic, siya ay total non-current liabilities. And then, irekta na natin siyang i-add. So, total liabilities would be, wait, we just need to properly uh, assign the mga underlines para hindi tayo malito. So, hanggang dito lang po dapat and then ito yung i-underline natin. So, we can see that this will be the total. So, we'll be adding the current liabilities which is 91,900 plus the loans payable which is the non-current liabilities. Pwede natin siya lagay dito na non-current liabilities since nag-iisa lang naman siya. And then, diretso na na total, current liabilities and non-current liabilities will be adding them. And then, of course, mag-iiba yung formula natin since naging 91,000 lang kanina i-add. So, we just need to delete this one and then we'll be having a new formula. So, that would be equals total liabilities and plus 870. So, that is 1,061,900. Yan. Lagyan din natin to na underline para mas okay. And then we'll be putting the peso sign or the letter P here. And then, don't forget the double rule at i-bold na din natin sila. So here it is. That's 1,061,900 for the total assets and liabilities for the balance sheet of Mavic Enterprise. Pero hindi po nagtatapos yan since this is only, ayan, this is only for the report form. So what do we need to do right now is just copy this and then mag-move tayo for letter B. For this will be a report form. Report form. And then, ayan, bold mo lang. And then, lagay mo dito, B, account form. Anong kailangan po natin gawin yan, sir? Pakadali lang po. Because, all we need to do is to, yan, yan, cut this one and paste it here. And voila, we already have our second requirement. Ang gagawin lang natin, ayusin lang natin yung formatting ng ating merge and center. Yan. Unmerge and merge. Unmerge, merge. Para lang nakagitna ang ating heading. Unmerge, merge. Napakadali niya naman. You don't need to write everything from the start because you just need to copy and paste. So, yan. Para mas malaki yung view, yan. So, we have already our account form and report form for our problem number 3 for the statement of financial position. So if you have any questions or problem or corrections or clarifications with our problem, feel free to send me a message or comment sa ating stream sa ating classroom. I hope you learned something today and have a nice day. God bless you all. Bye.